All right, so you've set up your blog. Now you're ready for your first blog post. What we're going to do is we're going to take you through what they call the Wordpress Dashboard. Now this is where you do everything with your blog, whether it's updating posts, creating new content, managing comments. First, we're going to really focus on actually writing that first post. Let's take a look at the dashboard here. Along the left-hand side, you'll see all your different options. To create your first post, you're going to want to look under the Post section. And when you click on that, it actually shows you what post you have on the right here. Now, you'll notice when that opened up, it actually expanded and it showed a few more options. One of those options is to add a new post. So we click on Add New. And now what we're doing is we're looking at the Add New Post screen. This is where you actually do your blogging. The first thing you need to do is every blog post has to have a title. Let's just call this Hello World. Now this title can be anything you want. Typically you recommend you want to do something kind of short. You don't want it to be too long. If you start thinking about being a content creator that you want to drive traffic, you want to actually make that title very compelling. You want to make it kind of provocative perhaps, something that people will click in. If it's more of just your personal diary though, really do whatever you want for the title. Let's take a look at what else we have here. We also have what we would kind of call the message body. This is essentially the body of the post. You know, here's where you put all your text. And this works very much just like a word processor, where you can actually click through. You have a bunch of different options. You can set your justification, your bolding, italics, all these kind of standard word processing functions. Let's take a look at one other feature on this, though. You'll notice in the top right, they have two different views. One is called Visual, and then one is called HTML. Now, Visual is essentially the pretty view. So let's see. When we make things bold, let's also get in a little bulleted list so we can see what that looks like. Now, when we switch over to HTML, we're actually looking at the code. Now, you may wonder, like, why would I need to worry about the code? Well, in some cases you don't, because you would actually just be writing a standard post. You don't have to worry about the code. But let's say you wanted to embed a YouTube video, or you wanted to put in some type of code that you got from another website, or maybe your formatting is just not right and you got to get in there and really check it out. That's what the HTML is for. So you would grab that embed code from YouTube, you would switch over to HTML mode, and then you would put that embed code right there under HTML, and then you can switch back and forth to design to see how it looks. Let's take a look at some of the other features of what we have on the post. This top bar here, this navigation bar, is really where we find all our options. There is even a spell check, which is kind of nice for people like me who always typo. There's coloring and different things. We also have other things on the right here. We have our categories. We'll talk about publishing in a second, but we have our categories. You can say this is part of my Sean category. You can also easily add a category right here. I'm just going to say that this is part of the test category because I'm just testing things out. If I go down a little bit further, I also have what they call tags. Now, tags are a way for you to kind of bring posts together. So if you want to link posts, you'll notice that on the bottom of every post, it sometimes will display what tags are associated with that. It's very much like adding keywords to the post. This helps people navigate. So let's say there's a topic that you write about quite often. Let's say it's a sport. Let's say it's baseball. Every time you did a post about baseball, you'd want to make sure baseball was a tag. Now, you can do very broad tags, or you can do very generic, or very kind of detailed and very kind of granular tags as well. It's a good way for people to kind of find content. It helps link the posts up together. Don't worry too much about them. You don't actually need them as well. If you want to kind of skip them, you can skip them as well. Let's take a look at what else we have on here. You know, one other piece is what they call the excerpt, and this is essentially a small piece of content. So what this is your message body up here is where you put the full depth of your post. The excerpt is where you put kind of a small little snippet. So this, when you're looking at your site, sometimes you only show that excerpt instead of showing the entire post. So it's a way to kind of hint and tease people into getting into the actual full body of the message. Now that we've got kind of the basic pieces in place, let's talk about how we publish. So we go up to the top right, and that's where our publishing is done. Now, we have a few options here. We can save it as a draft. We can even preview as well. Let's take a look at a preview. Notice what that does. It opens up a new window. Give it a second here to come in. And what this will do is it'll actually show us what our post looks like before it goes live to the site. Now, I always recommend before you do that, you certainly want to make sure that everything is OK. The preview will show you exactly what your viewers will see. Looks like that's loaded now, so we can take a look. This is a theme that I'm using. It's one of the ones that's available from WordPress. Here you see the text that I put in, and here you see those bullets, that bulleted list that we added as well. So everything looks good. Let's go back into the post. We're happy with it. We have a few options. We can hit publish, and that will fire the post right away. That means the post will go live, it'll be accessible to the internet, people will be able to view it, search engines will be able to crawl it. So you only want to hit publish when you're really ready, because once you hit publish, there's really kind of no going back. You can delete the post if you're fast enough, but in some cases posts will get indexed and they'll get sent out. The other option is if maybe you want to schedule this post. Now a lot of bloggers are notorious for writing weird, crazy posts at 2 in the morning. You know, that's not always the best time to publish it. Maybe you want to publish it at 10 in the morning when more people are awake. Let me show you how that works. Under where it says Publish Immediately, there's a little Edit button. And if I click Edit, I can actually adjust my date and time. Now, this is scheduled to publish right now. Let's say that, you know what, I want to do this for tomorrow, and I actually want to do 10 a.m. Now, I hit OK to set that date. And you'll notice the Publish button has actually changed to where it says Schedule. And what that means is that WordPress will automatically schedule that post for you. So this is a great way to kind of queue up a few posts if you want to distribute them throughout the day or maybe throughout the week. Use the Schedule feature. So whether you schedule or publish, as soon as you do that, your post is live. Congratulations, you've created your first blog post. If you want to learn more, please take a look at some of these other videos.